Like, I honestly, watching this movie, I'm like, I don't give a f about plot. I don't care about character development. Just, I want to see Godzilla fuck shit up.
Hi, this is Felipe Almazán.
And I'm Danny Vizcarra.
And here's another edition of Spaghetti Tuesday. And this week we have Godzilla. Freaking like this movie, dude.
I'm on the fence about this movie.
I know, yeah. I mean, this movie has a lot of mixed reviews. Well, before we get into that, let's just get into the story.
The movie starts off with Bryan Cranston. He works for this nuclear plant.
Yeah, and they keep everything top secret until one day there's a big accident that happens. And
there's like seismic activity that Bryan Cranston's character is monitoring, and he thinks it's unnatural. Nobody listens to him, and
they think he's crazy,
and,
but he actually isn't.
You know, shit goes down,
and so they had to shut down, and he had to make the sacrifice of a certain character. I gotta say the whole setup was done pretty well.
Well, the movie, it starts off good. I feel like it had my curiosity, but it failed to keep my attention. It starts off with a montage of like secret like government files, and that's intriguing.
Yeah,
but I feel like it just kind of like
it didn't go deep. It didn't go deep into it. Yeah, yeah. It misses opportunity there. Another thing too was the characters. I mean, we did have Bryan Cranston in it, but he's not in it long enough. He's in it like I think as much as Godzilla's in it.
Maybe even less.
Yeah, it just because he's not the main character. Let's just put it that way.
They just totally like bait and switch.
Honestly, the story that was going on with the human characters, I didn't mind, but it did get annoying a bit. Like, hey, come on, let's get over this. Let's go to more Godzilla. Yeah. I think what this movie made up for was in the fight scenes.
Yeah. The action scenes that actually happen, they're so awesome that they kind of do make up for the rest of the movie.
There's about like 2 or 3 action scenes. 2 of them are really short, but yeah, they do make up for it, and it's done really well. It's shot very well. You can tell the director knows how to make great action scenes. Well, it's only fair to compare it to Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was more of a cartoon, whereas here in Godzilla, it was made to be more realistic.
As realistic
as it can get, yeah. And then you have Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Godzilla's the movie.
Yeah, Godzilla's the movie.
I just hate that it took an hour before we even see Godzilla.
Yeah.
But it takes an hour to actually see Godzilla. But when you do see him, it's very impressive.
It kind of reminds me a bit of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, where like it takes about an hour to get to him, but like once you get there, it's like, oh my god, you finally get him.
You know, he's not in it that long. When he does show up, it's like really badass and it's cool.
Another major criticism was the teases.
Like every time you think like, oh, big action is gonna go down, nope, they cut away or they just teased you too much.
The editor was an asshole. It was just like you wanted more. Like, come on, we want more. You're like,
it did help to build up to the final climactic scenes, which were incredible.
It felt like a Godzilla movie. Because in most Godzilla movies, you don't really see much of Godzilla. Like the best Godzilla movies, you rarely see Godzilla. He's only in it for like 15-20 minutes. I mean, for this type of movie, I think you should have seen more Godzilla. But however, I still enjoy this movie a lot.
I don't know, I didn't like the movie almost the entire movie until the last like half hour of the movie. It was really action packed. It was really cool. I just feel like the main characters that they ended up going with were kind of boring, and I didn't care because they just kind of threw them in there.
Yeah. And
you didn't even get to know them. Like, you got to know Bryan Cranston's character a little better, but then they're like, oh, this guy's the main character.
Yeah. And Bryan
he was just really there to set up the main character,
yeah,
which was kind of weird.
It didn't work. Bryan Cranston, like, there's a tragic event that happens in the beginning of the movie, and you like empathize, you feel sad for him, you sympathize for him, and once he goes away, it's like, well, we can't sympathize with this character. Although I gotta say, Elizabeth Olsen, who I think she should have given more time, because I think she was trying her best to, be a sympathetic character, I guess. But yeah, the main character, Aaron Taylor Johnson, is alright. I won't say he's a bad actor. It's just I think the character was given, this Marine type who was just kind of like very emotionless.
I think in these type of movies, the main characters that tend to like you relate to is just some everyday ordinary guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a military guy. I don't know what the hell to do in that situation. And that's kind of how Bryan Cranston's character would have been. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's he was a Marine, so it's kind of like, eh.
you don't really.
I don't.
You can't empathize with him.
Yeah, or I can't relate to him really.
Yeah. Like I said, you know, like I think when I went to this movie, my expectations were kind of low. Not in a bad way. It's just like just be better than 1988
Which
1988 version.
It was.
And it was
by far.
What they did with Godzilla was good. Like that's the reason why I don't.
The Godzilla portion of it was good.
Yeah.
It's
like,
the other stuff that they kind of seem like they didn't know
what to do
in between Godzilla.
Yeah. I would give this movie a 4 out of 5 atomic beams.
I would give this movie 3 out of 5 atomic beams, and that's being generous because the majority of the movie I didn't like it, but the action scenes were very good, and anytime Godzilla was on screen, it was a really good time, and that makes up for the negative things in the movie.
Yeah, just don't expect a lot of Godzilla, but however, expect a badass fight scene. If we were to take anything away from the summer so far, I think Godzilla definitely has one of the best movie moments.
Like, yeah.
Probably this year. Yeah, that's our review, guys. This is Felipe Almazán.
I'm Vizcarra.
See you guys next week.
It's Godzilla! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla! Though it isn't.